How you doing, man? How's it going? Check. Check. There he is.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Good, sir. Let me. This is okay. I mean, I'm on the East Coast, so the sun will go down pretty soon. Hopefully, it's okay right now.
Okay, I thought you were on the West Coast.
I live there, but during the quarantine.
You've been over here.
Gotcha. Yeah, home family.
Cool. Well, nice to meet you, man. Erman, right? Erman or Erman?
Erman.
Cool. Sure. Yeah, my name is Kwaku, DJ65. I've been at this thing.
Got the chest going on. I gotta lower my shirt.
We just hit the home workout, quarantine days, making it happen from home.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, bro. Thanks for taking time to do this. I've been
buddy.
Like I said, I've been kind of following your page for a little bit, and I was like, let me take this time to get connected while everything in Hollywood is a little bit slow.
Yeah, man.
So what's it like? How's your quarantine experience been?
This sounds weird. A creative blessing, I guess you could say. Like,
correct.
When everything was normal, like I would have to balance like being creative and making money.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the world has stopped and no one's really buying anything, I think they even like put a pause on like student loans and all that stuff. It's like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Of course, this entire thing's bad, but there are some things that are
positive,
that benefiting us as creative people, because I get to wake up and write. So absolutely. Actually, today I'm finishing up a pitch deck for a show pilot for a show that I'm trying to me and my manager are trying to sell. So hopefully, fingers crossed that there's some traction with it. And then just write some other stuff too. And of course, I've been hosting the webinars. I think you've seen them too. I've been hosting the webinars.
Yeah, that's super dope. How what networks are you pushing to? Like, what kind of TV show is it?
Honestly, it's a drama comedy. So it's fitting. I would say it's fit. If I was to say a network, it would be fitting of NBC, but I think it's too much like their current product. So we might even consider like the streaming services.
Okay.
Of course, this is like nothing set in stone. It's just like I'm being like positive here. I'm being like hypothetical,
Yeah.
Should anyone like it? So
love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I got a chance to look at your backstory a little bit. How long have you been screenwriting?
Okay, so I started in when I was a sophomore year of high school. I was a sophomore. I started then. Of course,
you were in Virginia, right?
Yeah. Of course, it wasn't great. Like it's just like it's one of those things. There's like when you start off young, it's just a matter of just starting. So
absolutely.
like I wouldn't even say I was good until like maybe 5 years ago. So that was 14 years now.
Okay.
Of course, the first few years were like, when you look back to things you did before, you're like, wait a minute, back then I thought that was good.
Right.
Like when you look at pictures
Yeah,
of like when you look at pictures in like high school or middle school, you thought at the time you wore the flyest outfit.
right.
Looking back, you're like
Snapbacks, baggy shorts.
and I think that's how it's like with a lot of like creative people. So like I would say I was good the last 5 years, or at least better.
Yeah, better. Okay.
Yeah.
And doing mostly films or like TV as well?
Yeah, so I like to do a mixture of both. At first, when I went to film school, it was I mostly wrote features. But nowadays, with the rise of the quality in television, I kind of like find that route too. And I like both. I do like both.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, I find myself writing more TV, but it's nothing against feature. Just more so I think that's where the industry is nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, look at where we are now. Now with the movies that were gonna hit theaters because of the quarantine, they're hitting they're hitting television. So
absolutely,
television will always be there, dude.
Television will always be there. I think there's a lot of potential, especially in Hulu, Netflix, all that good stuff. Yeah. I personally think Hulu is gonna outlast Netflix. I don't think Netflix will ever die out. But
it might be a sleepy giant. Hulu might be a sleepy giant because Netflix is like the juggernaut right now. That's where everyone's looking right now.
Correct.
So even like filmmakers who like they want to make it big on these platforms, the first thing to think of is Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not trying to sound like I'm a
Hulu has all the TV shows.
It's true, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm a professional or in this or I know everything. But from my perspective, like not everything can make it on Netflix. But if you look at the catalog, there's a lot of stuff on there, and not all of them are great.
Right.
It's like they just take everything as much as possible, but
right.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I would still love to have something on there. I'd love to have anything on anything.
Absolutely.
Hulu, Netflix, Quibi's brand new, and those are the 10-minute stuff, 10-minute content. But get this, dude. Like if you look at who's in it, they're A-listers who doing Quibi projects. 10 minutes of their time.
Quibi. I'm gonna have to look into that too. There's just endless opportunity left and right.
Yeah, even YouTube has originals.
YouTube originals, right? And I'm looking at kind of turning this platform that I've been using on YouTube to make it a TV show, not necessarily a TV show, but a YouTube original show.
Gotcha. Hey, forgive me though. I know that the camera's like right here, but I'm so used to looking at your face. I'm used to like looking at your face. Like, directly at you, so my eyes don't look like my eyes don't even hit the cameras because I'm looking at your picture.
Right. Yeah, I'm doing the exact same thing. So you're straight, man. But yeah, so the transition to Hollywood, what was that like for you? I had a chance to kind of, like I said, dig back on your story, and you were flying out for events and stuff like that. Take me through this phase a little bit.
Oh, for sure. And just to give a disclaimer, I still consider myself like a fringe writer, like someone on the fringe, like someone on the brink of something happening, because I don't want to sound like I'm established. I like a lot of people interview me, and so I get a lot of press. A lot of people in the industry know me.
You've been interviewed a lot, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
I follow.
I think I get more interviews than like people established. So I don't want people to think that I don't want people to think that I consider myself established. I'm still gonna come up like anybody else.
I love it.
But the way I got into people's radars is through networking. So for a few years, like you said, I was going back and forth, flying from Virginia Beach to LA, like back and forth a lot of years.
Yeah.
Crashing on couches, So, I mean, at the time, it was like, what's this guy doing? Yeah, at the time, you're like, what is this guy doing? Like, why is he doing it? But it's one of those things that just builds over time.
Now, was this college days, or did you not go to college?
Immediately after college. So I graduated in 2012. I'm 30. It doesn't look like it. I know it don't look like 30.
Yeah.
I just hit 30 last November. So 2012, I graduated college and then started my first internship in LA that fall. So that ended, and then in 2013, thanks to social media, I think you may have read this somewhere. So I created the name Erman LA.
Erman LA, yes sir.
Yeah. So I thought it was just catchy. So I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, that's a cool name. I'm just gonna, because Instagram was just taking off at the time. First Facebook's been around. Twitter was huge at the time. So for Twitter and Instagram, I just, for me, it was just a matter of like, okay, let me just get a catchy name.
So you caught
Instagram out to be kind of.
You caught Instagram right how TikTok is right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So my name was very kind of strategic in an indirect way. Like I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
So people thought because of that, people thought I lived in LA, and I'm here in Virginia Beach, and people are talking to me like, "Hey man, let's go get coffee," because they think I'm like, let's go, you know.
Yeah.
So over time, like these organizations would hit me up like, "Hey, we like the way you, talk to people on social media. We like the way you talk to fellow writers." I'm a writer.
Hmm.
So they're like, "Hey, can you help us with our events, our industry events in LA?" So I would just go back and forth for those reasons.
Yeah.
And at the same time, so while that's going on the other end of things, as a writer, not screenwriting at the time, but more so just article writing, I was working with for pro bono. I was writing for a digital magazine that allowed me to connect with publicists, to managers, to agents,
So
because
you weren't necessarily focused on the income at this time. You were
no,
just
it wasn't. No, I was like, let me just see who I can meet, right?
yeah.
So that digital magazine, through this that digital magazine, I would interview their clients. I would interview the talents, the
Nice.
musicians, the actors,
Heck
and
yeah.
anybody like in the industry. So it wasn't just It wasn't just in front of people. I'm sorry, it wasn't just people in front of the camera. It would be like composers and
Yeah.
producers too. So I had kind of had free reign to go after who I wanted to interview. And
Yeah.
so
That's what's
for me,
up.
it was strategy because I was interviewing people who I'd want to know, right?
Yep.
So, and when I saw a movie would come out, I'd be like, okay,
That's why
let
I'm
me,
interviewing you right now.
yeah, oh, perfect. So when I would see a movie would come out that year, I'd be like, okay, let me get in touch with this producer or this writer, right? So
Yeah.
I would interview them for the digital mag. So over time, I'm like, okay, I have all these contacts and I have experience with these events.
Hmm.
What can I do with it? Because there's millions of writers out there, right?
Yeah.
There's millions of writers who want to do what people in the industry do. So if a million people want to get in, not everyone's going to get in, obviously, because that's just
Right.
impossible. So I had to figure out a way to strategize how to get in touch with these folks, like these executives, these networks, at these production companies.
Right.
So okay, I have the Rolodex of contacts. I have experience, a little bit experience in events. I was like, okay, let me just do my own events. Let me just put on my own Hollywood events.
What's it like
So
doing events in LA? I know
it's 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 tough and hard. It's tough and easy at the same time.
okay.
It's easy to do. It's harder to pull off. Okay, so to actually plan it, for at least for me, to think of it and do it is I guess planning it's easy for me.
Yeah.
It's much more so the execution of it.
I see.
Because I mean, you're in a city where a lot of people are doing what I'm doing. It's just a more so how do you stand out by doing that? Because a lot of other people do these Q&A events with these special guest speakers in the industry.
Mm.
So what I did was I try to add a party element to it. So it's not like a town hall meeting where people are talking to you,
Right.
and you're hearing from these guest speakers in the industry. It's like let's vibe out. Let's have
You got
entertaining,
DJ,
like
you got lights.
DJ exactly.
Boom.
Sometimes we have a step and repeat with a red carpet to just
Nice.
make it look glamorous. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about the content. So
Did you raise enough
I would.
money to put these on, or what?
Oh yeah,
How are you funding these? Right out of
I'm
college, I'm sure you
self-funded.
got
Yeah,
some debt.
self-funded. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because I like to have control over what I do.
absolutely.
So yeah, so yeah, over the years that those snowballed, the event snowballed, and then I just kept meeting these people. So yeah, that was my way through. That was my way as a writer. That was my way in was through actually the events, and so it's
Okay.
just helping myself while giving back to other people. The
Mhm.
people who attend them, they get to meet these folks, and it's like, oh shoot, like without him putting on an event, it's like, oh, how else would I have met these people? Because they wouldn't just, if you ask somebody for coffee, you got to go through like their assistant. You got to go through like
Yeah.
sometimes you got to go through like certain protocol.
Mhm.
But then here it's like, oh, he's attended an event, he rubbed an elbow, met
Yep.
some cool people. So yeah,
You've already built up those relationships because you interviewed. Then
exactly. Yeah,
they're gonna bring
actually,
their
before
friends.
this, I just wrapped up another webinar with a TV producer. So
Okay, that's what you had going on earlier.
yeah, so I was
Nice.
earlier. I was writing my pitch deck.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm not done yet, so I got to go back to later. So I'm still writing
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Just did a webinar from the last 2 hours before I hopped on the call with you.
Uh-huh.
Then in about another 4 hours, I have a talent manager webinar that I'm
Nice.
hosting.
Is that the one with Carmony, or you already done that one?
That was yesterday.
Okay.
Tonight is her name's Kanika Sui.
Mhm.
She is with a production. Sorry, she was at the management company called Inspire Entertainment, and they represent
Ah.
actors like Anthony Mackie,
Yep.
Oscar Isaac, these big stars. So it's a cool management company.
Yeah.
I almost said production company because a lot of times nowadays, a management company also produce. So I sometimes like switch back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I really mean it's a management company. So she's a talent manager from a management company in LA. Okay. So we're gonna have that later on today. You can join us if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'll send you the link to that. So yeah, dude. That was just my way in. I know it ran. Love it. I know it ran on a tangent there, but
no, you got some information. The more the merrier. You know, I'm all about the little stuff that often gets blown over that people don't see on your Instagram.
Right. So, yeah, dude. Speaking of which, man, it's funny when people think like you're successful, it's like they don't see what's not posted, you know?
You're grinding. Yeah, they don't. I'm telling you. Yeah, so you grew up with Filipino, correct?
I'm Filipino, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm sure your parents or whoever raised you, I'm sure you grew up pretty humble. How was that kind of influenced your work ethic? Because becoming Hollywood's top networker, as they've named you, that doesn't just come, over time. A lot of people get discouraged when they come to LA when they don't get immediate results. What's been your driving factor, man?
Dude, it's funny that you said people expect like sudden results. That's like, if that happens to you, you're lucky.
Very
lucky.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm sure the people that it happens to, they're like, well, how did this happen? Like, I didn't I didn't take the steps. A lot of people don't take the steps. Like, a lot of people be like, Erman, can you introduce me to so-and-so? I want to be represented by this agent. But I'd be like, do you have like any work? Do you have a reel? Do you have anything under your belt? And they're like, no. It's like, whoa, well, if I was the agent and you approached me, I would be turned off because it shows that you didn't take the proper steps to get to, where you want to be.
Certainly.
It doesn't show your drive. It just shows you want to be famous and make money, but it doesn't show that you took the steps to get there. It's like a lot of times people miss that middle section, the networking part.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, you have the talent, you have the goods. Here's a networking part. Then here's where you want to be, with the agent, with the gigs, Mm-hmm. Some people skip that middle part. They think they can skip the middle part or want to skip the middle part, and they just be like, hey, can you introduce me to so and so? It's like, dude, no, like I don't know your work. Like I can't go out on a limb for you. Yeah. And you're not that great. And then my friend who's the agent goes, Erman, what was that about?
Right.
So people expect that, but in terms of work ethic, yeah, dude, like.
What's been your driving factor, man? This not easy. It don't come fast.
Yeah. It's kind of corny, but of course I think we all want to give back to our families, our parents, So it's like it's a universal thing. So I want to do that, but also I want to be able to build my platform as a way to give back to different causes, different charities. So like, of course, actually it's funny. Someone asked me this the other day, and Carmen did. She asked me this the other day. She's like, we had a discussion on like what is success. So for me, it's like, yeah, I want to make that big Hollywood paycheck. Mm-hmm. I think we all do. Yeah.
Definitely.
But it's a matter of what you do with it next. So I do want that. Of course, I want that big paycheck, but it's like, okay, with that, I want to be able to fund certain foundations or create or launch charities. I think that is more. I think it's more. That's more like, how do you say this? You feel more like you did more. Fulfilling. That's the word I'm looking for. It's more fulfilling for the soul. So it's cool to get things. That's great. I'm not saying don't.
Right.
But like, I think you're able to utilize your platform in different ways. I'm approaching 20K. That's not a lot. I'm approaching 20K on Instagram, but a lot of my stuff is like, if you look at my posts, other than promoting certain things, like I do a lot of, I share a lot of inspiring quotes.
You do.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, that may have just shifted somebody's day who was having a horrible day.
Exactly. You don't know who could need that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So I'm actually going to, and it's great you talked about nonprofits and giving back, because I actually have a nonprofit myself, the Global Waste Foundation. We started in 2018. Yeah. And what kind of inspired it, man? One day it was summertime, and I was just scrolling through Facebook, burning time, and I saw one of those videos of children dancing, I believe in Africa, and they were in school uniforms. Obviously the surrounding conditions weren't the best, but they're just dancing and having so much fun despite all that they didn't have. And sometimes we focus on what we don't have and forget to remember what we do have. Those kids had music, they had each other, and they had smiles on their faces. So they're like, we're going to dance and have a great time. So that inspired me immediately. I was like, what are they doing? How do I get involved with something like this? and it hit me. I was like, I'm going to create it. Who else to create a fun music dance experience for people than a DJ? So I went back home with my family that same December, and we hosted an event for an orphanage called Save Them Young. And they didn't know we were coming, so that made it 10 times better. And we showed up with some food, some goodie bags for the kids. And then I reached out to a guy, and we got some music equipment as well. And we threw a little party for them. It was just so dope. I was able to kind of share my story and let them know, like, I'm here for you guys. Consider me a brother now. You know, I'm not just some guy to just come, pop up, take pictures, like a lot of, and just leave. Like, I'm here. And I've been back the past couple of years. They know me now. They're always like 6'5", 6'5". And for me, that's more important than, just securing the bag or whatever the case may be. Whenever I show up and they do that, that's what the Leave Your Handprint's about. I don't know if you had a chance to scroll through my profile.
No, unfortunately, I'll definitely check it out after this, I promise.
I'm always saying leave your handprint, because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely have to connect on that, and we can definitely set up a partnership,
Sure.
Should that come into play.
Heck yeah, man.
But yeah, the thing I wanted to touch on was being a creative. A lot of us have downtime now. And as you know, the ambitions when we're staying busy, obviously, but there's a lot of people who are kind of in a position where they're not knowing what the next best move is, what kind of knowledge they should be attaining. So my question to you would be, what are some ways that people can level up right now if they don't have, access to a dance studio, access to a music studio? All my DJ events are shut down. So what are some tips that you would have for people that still want to level up mentally, get better at what they do?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's funny you said you don't have a dance studio, but if you have a room and you have mirrors,
yeah,
start. It won't be the ideal place for your movements, but it's still a way for you to prepare yourself so that when the world gets back to normal, you have your routine to present at the studio. Kind of like writers nowadays. Okay, well, we're sitting at home with not much inspiration, but as long as you're writing, you'll have something in hand for when the world's back to normal, So this can be 2 or 3 months of doing this right now, You can choose to sit around all day and not devote yourself to your craft, or you can at least, peel away at it. I like for me, because I guess I'm coming from the writer's perspective, it could be an actor's perspective. An actor can waste their time doing nothing for the next 2 or 3 months, or they can record their monologues. They can commit to self-tapes, because self-tape auditions are big nowadays. So they can just practice that, man. And even though we're physically not able to go outside, this is kind of like this containment right now. We're all going crazy, but it's like I said earlier, it's kind of a blessing because you are able to just devote yourself to your craft. You're not. I mean, this sounds bad. You're not working right now, so might as well fill your time with your craft. If you say you're passionate about it, you say you love it. Devote yourself to your craft. Because at the end of the day, we all know, fingers crossed, we all know this will end.
This will end, right?
Yeah. So what will you have under your belt to share with the world once it does end?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, and for me personally, what I've done is I've taken this time to build my online presence and my online business.
Me too. I'll be honest with you. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm building my passive income, man. And that's something that I've had in place like throughout my career, but now is the time where I'm really like, okay, I'm at home. Like, I can't go out and DJ these events that I always do, so I gotta have it coming in a different way. So I've been.
Have you done the IG Live kind of stuff? The IG Live DJs?
So, yep, I did that on my birthday, April 5th, and I did a live reading of my ebook, which I'm gonna share with you.
Happy belated, my man.
Send you a free. Thank you, bro. Send you a free copy. It's called The Full-Time Creative, and it's a guide for creatives to turn their passion into a paycheck. And it shares a lot of my testimony and the things that I've been through, and the mindset shift to get me to a position to where I could do what I wanted full time, which was a blessing. I secured a full-time job right before the shutdown started, allowing me to work from home. So thankfully, I've been working from home still while building my online businesses. But
that's good. Very good.
Yeah, the next thing I wanted to touch on was, and I'm kind of just going based off the chapters of my book, like I mentioned to you. What's your routine? And you got any morning routines, night routines? Talk to me.
It does switch every now and then, but if we're talking about it, just a normal day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, talk about now or when the world was.
I guess we can do both. Yeah,
No,
why
okay,
not?
on a normal day, out in LA, wake up. I like to. This sounds so weird, but I'm a writer, so we get in touch with our
Yeah.
emotional side. So I like to wake up, throw on like either a podcast that's inspirational.
What are some podcasts you listen to?
I mean, I love Gary Vee.
Yeah,
He's cool.
he cusses a lot,
He
man.
does.
He cusses a
But he's
lot.
passionate. He's passionate.
He's
So
very
sometimes I
passionate.
listen to him, or sometimes I'll like throw on. I don't even like listen to hype music when I wake up. I listen to like sappy like slow songs sometimes just to
Okay.
get in that, just to be
Yeah,
in touch with emotions, so I can
sure.
take on the day and use it for my writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to listen to music when I wake up. When I'm in LA, I go to the gym in the morning,
Nice.
knock that out. So I like to knock a lot of that stuff out before noon. So from noon on,
Mm-hmm.
it's like devoted to like certain things like emails or writing or, working on events.
Right.
So I try to knock it out as much as possible before noon.
Yeah.
So after that, it's just basically craft.
Craft. Yeah, I like that. Get the dirty work done early.
Oh, for sure. 'Cause I feel like me personally, I write better. I feel like my wheels are spinning
Mm.
towards the evening.
Yeah, that makes sense. And plus, you've been out, got your workout in, and all that stuff out. So maybe you picked up something while you were out. You
Exactly.
drove by something, and you're like,
Yeah.
That way, when 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock rolls around, you got all this creative juice just sitting there for you. For sure, man.
Exactly. Luckily, I do live at home. Duh, of course you live at home. I work at home. I work from home, so
Yeah,
I may wake up at the office.
nice. It's a blessing, bro. What would you say the importance of, and especially as a writer, what's the importance of your online branding, social media, all that good stuff? What would you say that is
Yeah, it does
important?
help me a lot because if you think of the stereotypical writer, they're
Mhm.
shy.
Yeah,
They
some of them
they
are a
don't
little
they don't
weird
want to be
too.
seen. A lot of times they don't want to be seen.
Some of them are a little weird too, but
Let's be honest.
they make amazing work.
Yeah, let's be honest. A lot of them are. But my point is like if like I said, go back to like there's millions of other people who want to do it.
Mhm.
So if there's millions of other people out there who also write, then how do you stand out? So that's why I feel like nowadays social media and an online presence is very important because we
Yeah,
are able to stand out from the rest of the crop who are shy and don't want to be seen.
right.
It's like how can you be noticed if you don't want to be physically seen?
Don't be seen, right?
So I think that's why your online presence is important.
Very important. What tips would you have for me being a DJ, and I'm already doing quite well, like as far as my online presence, but what are some tips you would have for an upcoming DJ and producer as myself?
Ooh. Um, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's your followers like? What is it like right now?
3,700.
Okay. It's building though. I feel like someone
It's
like
still
you, it's
building, correct.
constantly building. And I'm assuming you put out a lot of your music, like a lot of
Yeah.
times you're spinning. Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna start putting out my singles on iTunes. Like that's actually what I'm scheduled to do right after we get off of here. Start
Nice.
putting out my music, man. Start letting people hear it more often because I got a ton of just original tracks sitting on my computer, but
Yeah.
not the time to put them out.
So I can give you advice from like let's get it fast, like that kind of thing. Like it's one of the things that does take time. Even did for me,
Okay.
So content is king.
Yes.
If you want to build your platform, especially on your Instagram or Twitter, you have to constantly put things out. So even if it's not like a full track, maybe you can do snippets so it teases.
Okay.
So because if you're trying to grow an audience and all you have is 2 posts, it's like what's there to grow from?
Yeah, for sure.
People like to attach themselves emotionally to growth, a journey. So if you post something on April 11th, okay, you have those 3,300 people, and as they're following your journey from April 11th to April 11th of 2021, more people will catch on to that journey.
Right.
It's like a snowball. You're adding more people.
Absolutely.
Because they can emotionally attach themselves to what you're doing. Because you put out one song today, and then every day. I'm not saying every day, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
consistently is what you're getting.
Consistency. Like I try to post once a day, once or twice a day. Even if I don't, I'll try to catch it up with like maybe 2 posts in a single night. And honestly, at this point, I feel like, hopefully I'm not wrong on this. As long as you post something that is positive,
Yeah.
people will share it. A lot of my things that people attach to are the quotes, even if they're not my quotes.
Yeah.
I like to post
You're
them out.
sharing a good word.
Yeah,
You know.
and then people will share it to their stories, and their friends see it's originally from you.
Yep.
So they'll go check you out. You know, so that's like it's worked for me.
That's what's up. I'm gonna start doing that. Just sharing more quotes, and because I'm big on mindset. Like a lot of people hear me talk and they're like, "Oh, you always got this motivational, passionate," and I'm like, "That's me." So putting it out there more consistently for people to see. Who knows who's gonna come across that? They might tap on a profile, follow somebody, whatever the case may be.
I'll post something and I'll look at not the algorithm, the and like the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like X amount of people saved it, X amount of people shared to the stories. I'm like, what? People mess with this post?
Yeah.
They like it?
Yeah, so it shows you all those things in the analytics. Yeah, I'm definitely have to tap into that.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So after your social media presence, what are some for creatives, what are some business practices and fundamentals that you think that are critical to our growth in this business?
Oh, dude. Yeah, and this goes back to like the whole like some people are shy writers or they just don't know how to talk to people. Personality has a lot to do with it. Like right now, you came out to you came to me to interview me.
Right.
You wouldn't have done it if I lacked personality. You know.
True.
Like, or if you're at a networking event,
like that's not an interesting conversation. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Or when you're at a networking event and you're standing in the corner, like.
Yeah.
Well, I applaud you for showing up, but now you're just wasting space.
Yeah.
You know.
Honestly.
So a lot of it does have to do with networking. Like I said, networking is key.
Mm-hmm.
It does have to do with just showing that you are someone that you want to mess with. You know.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna have a business deal with somebody, if it's between two people, the one that's easy to hang out with, you know, or and has something to offer you in terms of like having fun time or personality, versus this person who lacks all that, is very vanilla. You know, you're gonna collaborate more so with this person.
Absolutely.
If they're a fun time, you
Absolutely.
know. So having personality does have a lot to do, in my opinion, with who you are as a business person, as a creator, as a creative person. Because even on a film set, dude, like who's gonna want to work with a bunch of folks who are like, can I cuss on here? Yeah. Yeah. If you're a dick, who's gonna want to work with you on a film set? Right. Even if you're like the best filmmaker ever, you know. I say it comes down to personality. That's
Absolutely.
For sure.
Okay. Cool. And is there anything as far as like I guess like taxes, bookkeeping, anything nitty gritty that you think is important that the people should know when it comes to business practices? Because I'm assuming before you had a manager, you were doing a lot of stuff yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah.
How important is it to stay on top of that stuff, man?
Oh yeah, man, you gotta be organized too, man. Because the way I see it, anybody is a walking billboard of themselves.
Yeah.
You're a walking billboard of yourself. 6'5". I'm glad you told me your pseudonym, I guess you could say. Was this your stage name or whatever?
Yep.
I'm glad you told me that, because 6'5" is very marketable. You can brand that. You know.
It's already there, man. I'm gonna send you a shirt too.
You're a walking billboard of yourself. So if you're not, take out the manager, take out the agent, take out the publicist, you are still you.
Yeah.
You know, you're still marketing yourself. So you have to present yourself in a certain way that people will go, oh, I know what he does. I know some folks. It's funny you mentioned music, that you're in music. I know some music folks who say they're a musician, but when you look at their Instagram, it's like, where's any of that?
Where's any of that?
What are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, something mentally, you got to remember that you're a walking billboard of your brand. Anywhere you go.
I like that.
And in any industry. Any industry. It doesn't have to be creative. Any industry. Well, if you're a real estate agent, you know, I want to see that I want to see proof you're a real estate agent, you know?
Right. That's real. I'm actually about to take note of that. You're a walking billboard of your brand. And is that kind of what inspired their entourage?
Yeah.
You know, you could have easily just said, oh, LA, nightlife, blah, 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 something generic, but I really like that your name is in there. And I'm going to be at one of your events, man.
Oh man, man, oh
Yeah.
man. When this whole thing ends, yeah, we'll definitely we're gonna connect for sure.
Absolutely. So, lastly, I guess you said you're working on a TV pitch. What is some general advice that you could give, whether it be networking, whether it be just consistent passion and drive? My people, I'm gonna put them on to who you are. So, what's one takeaway that you would?
Yeah. So I'm not the only one who does this, but like I said, I've been doing webinars recently because of us being quarantined. But whether it's mine or somebody else's, there's a lot of resources out right now for you to connect with people who are doing what you want to do, you know? So for example, I just finished a webinar earlier with a TV writer who's also a producer. I want to do both. So I that's why I if I was not me, if I was somebody else, I would want to check in on this because that's what I want to do. I want to hear it directly from the pros, you know? So I think you may have seen commercials on TV. Like they have something called Masterclass right now.
Yep.
Where the pros teach you what they do, you know? So, and those are at our disposal right now, especially now that we're home, you know?
So many resources, man. Like if you're at home chilling, you're missing out.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of people, whether it's the creative space or business space, wherever you are, a lot of people will try to do it on their own. You gotta remember, everything in life is collaboration. Everything in life is collaboration. So be open to advice from the people who know what they're doing, like the pros. You gotta talk to the pros. You gotta connect with them. You gotta. That does have to do with networking, but from also the learning aspect of it. Okay. You know, you gotta be able to soak in that information that you learn, that you need to learn to get to where you want to be. Like we just mentioned Gary Vee earlier. He does podcasts. A lot of people who are successful at their job or their career, who are the millionaires, like they'll giving you the content. They're on their podcast. They have the podcast. You know, they're sharing it with you. They don't want to talk to a wall. They're sharing it with you. Use it.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, taking advantage of your resources to get to that next step.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, much love, man. Thank you so much. I think I got like a 40-minute time limit on this Zoom, but I appreciate you taking time out your day, man. It's been an honor having you. I'm sure you're getting pulled left and right for interviews, you know.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for thinking of me.
You got it, brother. I'm gonna send you a copy of this book and some merchandise, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I'll email you. I'll do it. I'll email you my address.
Okay, sounds good, man.
My man, take care, buddy.
You too, boss. Peace.